Rip the roof.
I'm going in.
Mike, are you waving to your daddy in there? Ew, what do you got?
That's good.
Don't do that. That would not be good. Then you can't have sugar snap peas.
Can I stomp on those?
Nope. Rip the roof.
I'm going in. No.
They could see the inner workings, huh? What'd you plant here, Eli?
I planted that one's a white pumpkin, and I think this one's a mini pumpkin. Those sticks show me where I planted.
He's the garden boy. Can you show me what you've been learning all morning?
Cursive.
You did.
Technically just went up in her room. I wrote a story. She technically just went in her room for an hour, and then she learned it.
Yeah, it's not too hard.
Yeah.
All right, go practice your instruments.
Okay.
Let's not go in there, Micah. Daddy's working on that. This is more stuff than I expected. When you said you're getting a dumpster, I see why you're getting a dumpster.
Yeah, we ain't getting rid of this in the roll off, in the regular roll.
No. We're gutting it, huh?
Yep.
Maybe I'll like panel it or shiplap it or do something since we're getting rid of all this drywall.
Yeah, I guess gravel sucks anyway.
It always gets moldy, doesn't it?
I mean,
I guess if water's coming in, it's going to get moldy no matter what it is.
yeah. This backside hasn't been so bad. But you can see it coming through up here. It looks like to me.
Yeah.
So this little part wasn't, but everything else was. Look
You-
at the snake skin.
I don't see it. A snake skin? Ew. So is this back insulation having to come out too?
Yeah, I'm taking it all out. Just, yeah.
All right, well, we'll see what we're working with. Jude, do you remember whenever you dropped a whole package of peas right here? Well, it's growing.
What?
See that? You have a peas patch. That's from... Did you just... Look, they're growing. Look,
They do work.
these are peas.
You said that they didn't work?
I didn't think it would work. I didn't think that would work. I didn't.
Mom, it did. I think we have the one down there. It's gonna grow up there and just the garden.
What? Lavender?
Do it help that I put it in that mud?
It would grow in there, yes, but eventually we're gonna have to get rid of that mud.
What mud?
The mud you're playing on?
Mommy, is it gonna grow on that?
It would grow.
Wood?
Yeah, because
Soil?
that's our garden soil. It's
Mommy.
topsoil.
That means I can grow it?
Go try.
Mom, I have to get lots of kinds because I'm growing lots of them. But because the ones that they already had, there wasn't that much of them left.
So you're gonna grow a whole pumpkin patch?
Yeah, like as big as that other pumpkin patch.
Is it gonna be for the fall so that we don't have to go to the actual pumpkin patch?
Well, yeah, it's gonna be just like the actual pumpkin patch.
Well, I like going to the pumpkin patch. But this will be good because then we can have pumpkins for our porch. Mike, are you waving to your daddy in there? You don't want to go in there. They're all getting so big, they're almost full grown. Let's not let them out, Micah. We don't want to do that, okay? So I'm doing some meal prep. for the day so I can be with Luke and kind of help with this whole garden cottage situation. We like to do our projects together. And so I'm gonna make some soup. Now we have a really hard time in the summer getting rid of all of our homemade bone broth, but I still wanna use bone broth. It's just that soup never sounds good. Last week I made some broccoli cheddar soup. It was a good side to have all week long. That's definitely a little bit easier to eat no matter what the season. So today I'm going to do more of just a chicken and vegetable soup, which people aren't gonna be super excited about, but I'm probably gonna make something else and just serve it as a side dish for lunch and dinner. That way we can get in some of that good bone broth, and then I need to, make some more because we like to have it kind of constantly, but it is definitely an easier thing to consume in the winter months and fall, that's for sure. So I just have some carrots, potatoes, onions, fresh garlic, celery, and then after this cooks a while, I like to add in frozen either green beans or peas. And then I have a chicken going in the Instant Pot. So I'm gonna overlay some footage here of this little building when we first moved in so that you can remember what it looked like pre-restoration. Now I would love if we could have just obviously came in and decorated it, but we have mold issues. As you can see here behind the fireplace, there was a lot of moisture coming in, and so that area needs to be rebuilt. Luke has ripped out all the drywall and insulation. We need a new roof, new siding. We're basically just down to the studs at this point. So we plan to work all day long on the garden cottage project, but we actually got to a standstill really fast. So Luke ordered a dumpster for tomorrow to put all of the stuff in. I honestly had no idea there'd be so much stuff. I guess he clearly did. And the whole place is just full of all of the old drywall and the insulation. And that all happened in a matter of about 2 hours. So we're trying to think of the next step, and really until the dumpster comes, we feel like we just need to clear it out before we can look at it and think about what needs to happen next. So instead, we are just got done with lunch, got the kids down all kind of at their quiet times, which isn't so quiet. And Luke went to pick up a hog. So we ordered a half a hog from a local farmer. Actually, I'm going to be making a video on that really soon. We found local sources at this point now for chicken, beef, and hogs. And so I was gonna share my tips for finding that in your area since we're new to this area. And so while he does that, I'm gonna work on some book edits. The publisher already sent me back the manuscript. They put everything together, and now I have to go through and do some edits. So back to that work again. And we may or may not get to any more work on the garden cottage, but I'm gonna extend this vlog into another day so that way you can at least see some more progress as it goes. All right, day 2 of working on the cabin. I'm gonna get some sweet potatoes going in the oven. It is only 7:30 a.m., but we're gonna be out, so I'm just gonna do steak because I have some thawing in the fridge, sweet potatoes with butter, and probably some broccoli. Sure looks a lot different.
It took a little longer than I thought.
Got it all cleaned up.
Yeah.
So do we have to do, no, you already got, you don't have to take out like that drywall right there?
I'm probably gonna.
Yeah.
It's easier to work around whenever it's not. I don't know what I'm gonna take out there for real. Because it's got the electric in it. There's a lot of electric in the walls, but it's got the water.
The water heater
and the
thing.
Electric. Water heater back there, the vent thing, so I didn't want to just go ripping and tearing.
And the only, and the floor issue that you're seeing is over here, right?
Yeah, it's basically right underneath this building.
So
you
maybe.
Stand there, you can,
oh yeah, I can.
It slopes away down to that side, so there's rotten boards underneath that.
This looks patched. Doesn't it? Like maybe this happened before?
Just settled and cracked. Yeah, maybe it did.
I don't know.
I just kind of did like a little cheap repair and went on. That's what seemed to happen to the whole thing.
What's up with the toilet being like on top of a little platform?
Yeah, that's another thing that kind of I don't know about what to do around the toilets, and like that's got to come out, but I don't really know about how.
Oh, that's out. I don't know what that weird little thing is, but if that can be a window there, it should be. In fact, technically, while this is all opened up, this would be the time to put in more windows, wouldn't it? Water damage? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, yeah, you had to rip that out. Good grief.
It's pure rot.
Oh.
Mommy, the bug sting gets on you, it will be bad for you.
Yeah, you don't want that, do you?
You need to get sunscreen on you.
You don't want to get a sunburn, do you?
No, you don't want to get sunburn.
It's not the time of day when we get sunburnt right now.
Why?
Well, because...
The sun's not out?
Oh, it's out. It's just not too bright yet.
Maybe that is sunscreen will turning the eye.
You know what we need to do is get a hat on you. That'd be the better thing.
I have a hat.
That'll block your face. What are you eating here, Hannah?
I'm eating all the grassy stuff so we don't have any weeds. Is this grass?
I thought raised beds weren't supposed to get weeds.
Mommy, is this grass? Well, they do.
They do.
Mommy, is this grass?
Let me see. Lift up your hand. Let me see it. Yep, that's not grass, but it's something weedy. Because look, you can see what here is peas and what's... You picked it? Okay, just, hey, Joanna, one at a time because you're going to accidentally pull up something that's real. So look, you got it really weed-free over there. You're doing a good job.
I'm going to pick all of them.
Are you going to get lots of peas whenever it's
I'm going to step on
middle of...
them.
Don't do that.
Why?
That would not be good. Then you can't have sugar snap peas.
Can I stomp on those?
Nope.
Why?
Because that wouldn't be good. Another point of raised beds is to keep kids from compacting the soil. Ew, what do you got?
Snake skin.
Oh, where'd you find that?
Just up in the rafters.
Ew.
What is that?
Look, you can see the eye, even the skin on the eye comes off.
It's a snake skin, Hannah.
There's the plywood underneath. I wanted to get to this. I'm gonna rip this plywood up.
Okay, see what's going on under
I
there.
think it's probably just 2x4s. They put plastic. This is plastic over it. That's why it looks different.
It's plastic.
Plastic over the
2x4s? Huh.
buy it a few more months, I guess.
Yeah, seriously. We may not have found a lot of other berries around here yet, but mulberries in abundance, right, Johanna?
Yeah. Yeah, I cannot get this.
Looks like you've been eating a few.
I cannot get this. I need it. I want it.
That's the thing about mulberries, they're on trees.
Yes.
Hannah, you should back up. That's a little, you're scaring me a little bit. So I got a lot of questions on my, one of my recent videos about why we don't have our own dairy cow. We still really want to, but we just don't have the setup yet. So we have not done all the fencing around here. We haven't really researched into like what kind of pasture we need. And so we do want to do that, but we're not at that point. We're just busy getting the house at a place where, not livable, it's already livable, but just kind of pretty and semi-renovated. And then now, of course, as you know, we are working on that garden cottage because we feel like it's gonna cave in if we don't get working on it because of all of the water that's coming in. And so there's just other things that have been taking precedence over it. But this wilderness behind me is probably maybe where we eventually will have the cow be going. Of course, it needs some maintenance, and this goes all the way around the back of the barn and behind the house. There's like a bottoms area, but yeah, we have not gotten to that point. So I took the kids on a play date with a friend. She has a really nice creek swimming hole on her property. And Luke worked on gutting the rest of the, we're calling it the garden cottage. It could be called a lot of things. So we're kind of at the point where we're not even sure how much needs to be done, if it's even worth saving. We actually have a handyman coming over here shortly to assess and just kind of help us figure this out, because we don't know how much we want to spend on this, but we also don't want to spend a ton of time. Now we're cool with some time, but if this, you know, we might want to call in some reinforcements on it. This here is the big concern. We kind of were thinking, you know, we'd have to rip down all the insulation, re-roof it, and then of course make it cute. Well, Luke started pulling up the flooring here, and it's wet underneath, and it's not really on a proper foundation, and so he doesn't know if all of this needs to come out or just part of it. And that's where we're starting to wonder what we're really left with, because if you have to rip out all the floor, redo the roof, and a lot of the boards on the walls and the chimney, before you know it, we're kind of just using this as a template to rebuild. So we'll see. All right, well, we had a friend of ours from the area who is a handyman come by and help us to evaluate in the quote-unquote garden cottage. I think we've discovered that it is not sitting on a good foundation. It's probably pretty impractical, honestly, to fix it up. However, with the number of kids that we have and with the blog and homeschooling, for us, it's gonna be more worth it to actually fix this thing up right, even if it costs quite a bit more money than it's probably even worth, just to have that extra space. My main thing that I want it for is whenever we're looking at this place, I like that there could be a warm place in the winter for another place for kids to go, because that's the thing I always feel like we're so cooped up in the winter, and this felt like it would be another area to go in and hang out in, put some books, maybe some toys, and then of course in the summer it serves the purpose of being a really adorable garden cottage. So we need to evaluate the other little building on our property and go from there, because that one too could also serve that purpose. But basically the handyman guy told us that we should rip out the rest of the flooring, see what we're working with the foundation. It might need to be jacked up and completely replaced. He said, or you might just want to use this as a template and completely rebuild it, in which case you would end up with something that looks accurate to this property but is brand new. So whether it's practical or not, we will probably do something to make sure there is a little building like this one sitting here. When we rip the floorboards out, we'll see the foundation, see if it's worth salvaging or if it needs to be rebuilt. But likely just because of the way it looks on our property, it's really adorable sitting here, we will be doing something with it. So, sort of a cliffhanger. Honestly, I always get pretty unrealistic expectations about things. And I was kind of thinking we were gonna rip out the insulation, add some cute beadboard and paint, and show you guys all an adorable garden cottage, you know, by the end of the week or something. So that's not gonna happen. You might not see any progress on this thing now for months. So we're still waiting for the windows that are on order for the kitchen. So likely that's the next direction we're moving. That was supposed to happen even sooner, but everything always takes longer than I expect. So I'm gonna say that the next thing you're gonna see on this channel is going to be us working on the kitchen. Then we'll probably bounce back to this cottage and with any luck eventually finish the other cottage and all the other projects on the list, but most likely kitchen and then the cottage. Sorry I don't have much more progress for you this time. You basically just got to see us gutting it and discovering that, oh, we don't really have much to work with here. So that is how the fixer-upper life does sometimes tend to go, but we knew what we were getting into, and we're excited to bring you all along on the journey. I told Luke yesterday that all I want to do is just add flowers, paint, and antiques, but you know, that's not what we signed on for. So I'll be doing all of those things, but not for probably a few months. And when I do, I cannot wait to share it here with you guys. All right, well, thanks for following along as usual, even when there isn't much progress to show. If you're brand new to my channel and you'd like to follow along with our farmhouse restoration and farmhouse property restoration journey, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thanks so much for stopping by the farmhouse.